Hello and welcome everybody, and welcome back to Dark Side of Anime, where I discuss dark topics from the world of anime and manga. On the last episode, we talked about Jung Hyun Park, the Attack on Titan editor who ended up killing his wife before lying about it, which is still up and available on the channel if you want to watch it. But today we are going to be talking about another scandal that hit the anime community, and that is the story of Nobuhiro Watsuki, the author of Rurouni Kenshin and the mangaka who was caught with CP. Nobuhiro Nishiwaki, aka Nobuhiro Watsuki, was born on May 26, 1970 in Tokyo, Japan, and had grown up loving animation and drawing. He worked on various different titles, but the one that stood out among the rest, and the one that he's well known for, is Rurouni Kenshin, as it's become a phenomenon not only in Japan, but over here in the West, with great manga sales, the fact that two of the characters from the anime and the manga were in the recent Jump Force video game, as well as anime adaptations and live action movies over in Japan. So it's safe to say that it was quite a big deal and has garnered quite a bit of attention and fandom. And, well, even though things were, pretty much riding high for the creator, he would end up having his whole entire character and his legacy questioned. On November of 2017, Watsuki would end up getting arrested for having CP. And when I say CP, I mean things of a lewd nature involving minors, which is highly illegal. The police had found over 100 different DVDs containing CP in Watsuki's home, as well as in his office. Watsuki's name popped up while the Tokyo police were investigating someone else, so they followed the trail back to him, and the rest is history. The anime community and those that were fans of Rurouni Kenshin were absolutely shocked to hear that the creator would even do something like that, and what's even more shocking is what followed next. In the actual court hearing, Watsuki also, during the deposition, came out on record saying that he liked girls in late elementary to around the second year of middle school. So naturally, with over 100 separate DVDs found, as well as the creator coming out on record saying that he liked children in that kind of way, you would have to assume that he would get a long prison sentence. Well, that never happened, because although he was found guilty, he only ended up paying a total of 200,000 yen, which is roughly around $2,000 over here in the West, and he did not have to serve any sort of jail time whatsoever. This, of course, pissed off a lot of people because of just how lenient the sentence was. Especially because $2,000 is nothing, especially to Watsuki, who's made a shit ton of money on Rurouni Kenshin alone. And that's part because Japan's laws against having CP is very lax, as especially considering the fact that possession of CP was not considered illegal until 2014. So it's not like over here in the West where you could face larger sentences, but even people over here who have CP are sometimes given slaps on the wrist. What happened next after his court hearing was that he was suspended from Shueisha Comics, the place where he works, but he was suspended for about only a year and a half before he ended up returning to work. Watsuki came out with his own statement in his first issue back, saying that, and I quote, "I deeply apologize for causing trouble and worrying everyone. I will do my sincere best." Which sounds like the lamest half-assed apology that I've ever heard. And speaking of quotes, Shueisha came out with their own, talking and addressing the situation, saying that Watsuki is currently living a life of atonement and is reflecting on the matter. Now, I read from an article saying that they had decided to continue on the series because it was their duty to appease the desire of the fans who were really, the fans of the show. And honestly, that is pretty infuriating. That is pretty frustrating to hear that it seems as though he has been allowed to get away with the crimes that he did. If you're still watching and listening to this, I don't doubt that you are probably frustrated at hearing that everything that's been going on with this case, especially how Watsuki has been able to get away with this altogether. And although there are some people in the manga and the anime community who have shunned him and distanced themselves from him, there are some that haven't. It's important to note that Watsuki is in contact with quite a few people of power, as due to his prior success in the manga industry, he was able to become a mentor figure over at Shonen Jump. And just to show you who he's connected with, two of his friends and people that he mentored were Ichiro Oda and Hiroyuki Takei, aka the creators of One Piece and Shaman King. Now, as to what he is currently doing right now, not much is very reported on what he has been doing currently, but the last time and the last thing that I was able to find out and the last thing that I heard was that he is still working on Rurouni Kenshin, and he probably is still raking in a shit ton of money. Every time I go manga shopping, I always see Rurouni Kenshin on sale. And every time I see it, I automatically think of Watsuki and his actions. While I was digging around, doing research for this video, it killed any and all potential interest that I could have for the show or the manga. I honestly, more than anything, feel bad for the fans of the shows and the mangas because they must have been devastated by this. I mean, I know more than anyone just how manga and anime can change you and make you feel things that you've never felt. And one of the reasons that I personally like to buy manga is so that I can support the mangakas. The work that they do is amazing. It's phenomenal, and it can be really hard. I know that more than anyone, especially getting into this and buying the manga, and I feel as though that they should be deserved of money and they should be supported. However, I don't think I could live with myself if I were able to buy Rurouni Kenshin, is it would potentially go out to help someone who had such vile, disgusting thoughts about children and likes children in that way that children shouldn't be liked. And I know that there are plenty of people out there, and they can perfectly separate the artist from the work, and they can still be able to enjoy the work. And hey, if you can do that, and you can still enjoy Rurouni Kenshin, then you know what, good for you. But there are plenty of others, including myself, that we just can't do that, and that's the reason why I and many others will not support Rurouni Kenshin ever.